to 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 start the class. You are only eight, but we are over 50. So let us wait for about 5 minutes so that others can join and then we begin the class. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So we are about 10. Should we begin? Should we begin the class?
Madam, if we are about 50, then 10 is still less.
But I
Very,
have,
very, very.
but then we will start at
Okay,
11. The latest will be 11:40
okay,
because we
okay.
need to cover a lot, quite a number of slides today. So the latest we can wait for them would be 11:40. Okay, so you're welcome once again to today's class, and um, I hope you're all doing well
Yes,
by the
please.
grace of God.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, we thank God. So the other time we let's recap what we did the other time. What did we do? We spoke about resources. We explained resources, and then we also talked about types of resources, and then we talked about um the characteristics of resources as well, didn't we?
We did. We did.
Okay. Okay. So what are resources?
When did you talk about resources? I don't
What
know.
are resources? We said resources were limited assets that are used to achieve our goals or our aims, right? And then we said examples were the time, money, energy, all those were examples of resources. And then we also talked about the characteristics of resources. We said they are limited, they are interrelated, they are substituted. Didn't we talk about that?
We did.
Okay. Okay, then let's move to what did we end? We ended we ended unit one section 6, right? Okay, we didn't do the management of
So,
non-human resources.
so that's it. That's where we are now.
That's where we are now. Okay. So let's talk about the non-human resources. Examples of the non-human resources is the time. Sorry, the money. Money. Money is an example of um non-human resources, and just as all resources, they are limited. They can be there today, they are not there tomorrow. So you have to manage them very well, especially money. Money as a non-human resource, it is a very important resources, a very important resource amongst all resources that can be available to an individual or a family. Money plays very important roles because it is required to buy um, um, goods into the family. Without money, you cannot buy foodstuffs, you cannot cook, you cannot rent a house, you cannot finish your house, you cannot manage your life. So money is needed for the individual or family to survive. It is very important. Now let's talk about the monies that come into the family. We have income. Okay. When we talk about income, we work, don't we? Don't we work?
Yes, we
Mommy.
do.
Good. Even if you are a cleaner, you work. Even if you are the least job available to you, you work and you earn uh, something at the end of the month, at the end of the week, at the end of the day, at the end of every fortnight. You probably would uh, earn something. Okay. And those are the monies that you take care of yourself with, or you take care of your family with. So if you want to look at what income is, sometimes we not all of us take salaries at the end of a job that requires that requires motivation, money motivation. Some could be allowances, some could be commissions, some could be wages, some could be salaries. So all these are forms of income that are available to you. So in the definition of income, we would say income in terms of financial. Uh-huh. So we would say income income in terms of financial gains is the money individual and family receive or gain from their commercial activities or employment. So income is the so income is the money an individual or a family gains from their commercial activities. That's what we would say income is, or their employment. Okay, so income may therefore be described as the money or purchasing power, as well as the goods and services earned or received respectively by the individual or the family during a specific period of time. Do you agree with me?
Yes, please.
Uh-huh. So now income, it is not only the money. Let's say you have income is the various monies that comes into the family, whether it's a gift, whether it's a obviously gifts are not regular, but the commercial activities you do as a family member is a regular one. So maybe you do two of them, maybe you do three of them. All those put together are the income that that is available to you, the individual in the family. Now let's look at money management. You all agree with me that money is one resource that is very difficult to come by and it's very limited. Time is limited as well, but time is equal to all of us. Energy could be limited. Energy is limited, but energy could be revived, and it could be. It's not literally equal to all of us, but then um, it can be revived. But money, when lost, sometimes is very difficult to revive. So let's look at how to manage our income or money as a home manager or a meal planner or a meal manager. What are some of the things you think are very important in managing monies in your home? Even you as an individual, what do you think are some of the activities that you do to manage your own personal monies? I say,
Okay, so madam, this is something I've personally observed.
okay,
Buying in bulk
yeah,
saves you money than buying in bits.
yeah.
So instead of purchasing your meal items in bits, it's better to purchase in bulk.
Mm, okay. So which other way do we manage? This is very right. But when you buy in bulk, it is lesser than buying in bits. You also have the power to bargain for whatever you buy for in bulk as well. So than buying in bits. So if you buy in bulk, you are able to save some money for some other things too. Which other ways can you manage your money? Essential.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Please, making food list when going for shopping to prevent impulse buying.
Fine. Good. So as a meal manager, since money is limited, like all other resources, money is also limited. Make a list before you get to the market. Helena, please hold on. Make a list before you go to the market so that and follow the list judiciously so that you don't buy things you do not need. That is impulse buying. You see a new shoe, you say, "Oh, I need this shoe," maybe not for yourself, for your daughter, or for somebody else close to you. Rather, you should follow the list you have written or the list you've taken to the market just so that you can follow your financial plans and then be judicial with it. Okay, Helena.
Using portion control. So when it comes to the serving of food, or yeah, the food items and the food in the house, I think using of portion control in serving food helps in preventing the wastage of food.
Okay, so it prevents wastage of food in order not to buy new foods with money that could be used to do other things, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, that is another important point. Okay, now let's look at, don't you think buying food in bulk and saving it in a facility you have available in your homes can also save money? Like we've discussed that, right? But before you
Yes,
buy
yes.
these foods in bulk, be sure that you have facilities that can save these foods. If you do not have any facility to save foods that are bought in bulk, it will go waste and you waste your money. If you don't have a big freezer to accommodate all these tomatoes when you buy them in bulk, there's no need. So you should also take into consideration the facilities you have to save these foods. Another way you can manage your money is also to buy foods that are in season. Buy foods in season and also buy from the farm gates to save money. Usually when you buy food fresh, if you have the opportunity to buy food fresh from the farmers, it is lesser than buying it from the market. And then also when you buy foods in season, if you have the storage facility alone and you buy these foods in season, like tomatoes in season, onions in season, it is more cheap than buying them when they are not in season. Okay, any other question?
Hello, madam.
Yeah.
Madam, this I come against this point that buy food in season and also buy from the farmers gate to save money. Madam, is it only all of us that can buy from the farmers gate? Let's say, for instance, you are at Accra, and I'll use my hometown as an example. Somania, we have mango farms here, which mangoes are very cheaper here, more than Accra. Can you travel all the way from Accra to Somania and then buy mangoes in the name of saving money or buy it from the gate of the farmers? And also
So
in season.
you
At times
consider
you may
what
need the thing out of season. So does it mean you shouldn't buy and then wait for it until it is season before you buy it?
you know your need, you know your wants, you know your income, you know the income that is available to you. You calculate what goes into transporting yourself from wherever you are in Tama to Somenia to buy the whatever you want to buy there. If it is cost intense, then you may as well buy it where you are. If you have the opportunity or if you chance on a place where fruits are freshly harvested by the farmers, you can buy some. Definitely you would need them, and if you need them urgently and you don't have you don't find yourself, you don't find any farmer or whatever by you should buy from. That is why I say you should also have a good bargaining skill. You can buy from other sources with a good bargaining skills just to save you money. Because ask yourself, transporting yourself from wherever you are in Accra to Somenia is it not money you use for transport? So if you can have a good bargaining sales and you have a market which is also maybe very early in the morning, these market women bring them from the farm, you can get it well. Any other question? Any other question? Isn't okay. So if there's no other question, let's go to Unit 2, Section 1, meal planning. Meal planning. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, you will explain the importance of meal planning. You will discuss the factors influencing meal planning and explain some of the factors to consider when planning meals. Describe one activity or even two that is performed at each stage of the process, and then discuss the decisions made by the meal manager and for work appraise goals of work simplification. Okay. So meal planning. We discussed earlier what meals are. We discussed earlier who a meal manager is. So can you explain to me, with your own discretion, can you explain to me what meal planning is? Helena. Helena.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we talk of meal planning, it's making a plan or a list of dishes that will be prepared during the week or in a month's time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the idea I
Okay.
have about it.
Okay. Who else can also say something about meal planning? Kenny or Kenny? Yes. Gladys.
Madam, please.
No, this is
Hello.
Kenny speaking. Yeah, Kenny, I'm listening.
Meal planning is how to plan your daily meal or weekly meal based on the type of resources you have at hand.
Okay. Okay. So your resources at hand could inform the types of meal you prepare as a meal
Yes,
planner, right? All right.
yes, madam.
What other contribution do you have? Gladys. Gladys.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Meal planning is the act of making a plan with adequate nutrition for the whole family, every member of the family,
With
within
adequate.
the available resources.
Okay, so underline word is adequate nutrition.
Yes, madam.
Yes. So please, with all the definitions you've given, please make sure you have adequate nutrition in there, because like I said, in the family we are many. You can have a 1 year old child, you can have an adolescent, you can have a baby, a toddler, you can have a young adult, you can have an old age, you can have a middle-aged person, you and your husband, maybe your brother, whoever you live with. In planning the meals for the whole month or for the whole week, make sure you have inculcated their nutritional needs in there at every stage of life, what they need to grow well. If it's protein, make sure you have varieties of protein in your diet, in your meals. If it is vitamins, make sure you have varieties of vitamins, and even the methods of cooking that will retain these vitamins in the foods you prepare, and also the methods you would introduce these vitamins in the food is very important. So it is not only about cooking, or it's not only about making a plan for making a weekly plan or a monthly plan of meals for your family. No. Make sure you have also adequate nutrition for every member of the family within the available resource you have. Resources are could be the time you have for cooking, the energy you have for cooking, and also the money you have available for cooking. I hope you understand.
Yes, please.
Okay. So now let's look at importance of meal planning. So before we look at the importance, do you think meal planning is even important at all?
Yes, please.
Yes, madam.
Yes, please.
So if meal planning is important, why do you think it is important?
Madam, to get the correct food nutrients each and every individual needs in the family.
Okay.
And it also saves time and money.
Okay. So you are telling me
But
the importance. Okay.
it also enables the planner to think ahead.
Good. Explain. Give light on the fact that it helps the planner to think ahead. Emily, was it Emily who said it makes the planner think ahead?
Please, it's Gladys.
Oh, Gladys. Please throw more light on it.
Madam, with that one, when like the planner, if you think ahead, it also helps the planner to prepare in advance.
Mm-hmm.
It will ensure the planner to prepare in advance. Like if you know you want to cook rice and stew tomorrow, so you make the plan today.
Okay.
Maybe tomorrow
Okay.
around 1 o'clock, I will be doing rice and stew. So it will help you to beat time.
All right. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Gladys. What other importance is there to planning a menu or meal planning?
Madam, please, it prevents food wastage
Okay. How?
because you know the number of people in your home, and then you know the amount
Yeah.
that will reach everybody. So with that, you prepare and then you serve each person what they need
Mm,
rather than
yeah.
have foods in abundance.
Okay. So it prevents what? Wastage.
Yes,
Essentially, what was the what was what you said? You said it prevents
it
wastage.
prevents food wastage. Yes,
Wastage. Okay. What other important? What other importance of menu planning do you have?
Hello, madam.
Yeah. Hello, Adepa.
Madam, please, it help identify resources.
Okay. Please throw more light on it. Mm.
Madam, please, when you plan your meal, you have to you identify the resources that you will need in planning the meal. So is
Mm,
that the time, the energy, or the
mm, okay. Gladys.
Mm.
Um,
It also helps you to cut down cost or budget for the food.
how? How?
Because if you are going to do something, it will help you. It will enable you to predict. Maybe as I'm going to cook banku tomorrow, this
Mm,
is the amount of money that I have today. So
mm,
tomorrow, will I get the money to be able to prepare the banku that I'm trying to cook tomorrow? So you look at the available resources that you have for
mm.
tomorrow.
All
If you
right.
know that the money is not up, then you prepare towards it.
Okay. All right. Well understood. Helena, you have something to say?
Yes, please. Meal planning also helps to add varieties to the food that you prepare in the house.
Good, good, good. You don't you are not you don't chance on the food because they are carefully planned. you can add varieties to it. Unlike if it's not planned and then you've asked yourself, oh, what will you people eat? Oh, there's rice, let's cook rice. The same thing you talk about it. Oh, there's rice, let's cook rice. Before you realize, in a whole week, you've eaten rice and stew about 5 times. Saturday will be the only day you say, oh, let's cook something different. Okay, so thank you so much for all the importance of planning a menu or meal planning you're giving me. Now let's look at the goal in meal planning. You've said the importance, but the goal, the main goal behind planning meals. Let Can you tell me the main goals? There are four. The main goals. What are they? Nutrition.
But then we have
Nutrition,
nutrition.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
food.
budget,
We have
We have
resources.
yeah,
resources. Then
yeah.
aesthetics.
Aesthetics. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I'm listening.
But then those are the four. We have
Madam,
the nutrition,
Yeah.
the balance, the resource, and the
Yeah,
aesthetics.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what can you say about the nutrition?
okay, so madam, for the nutrition, there are certain individuals that need some specific nutrients in their diet. Mostly, let me use children as example. Maybe you meet a child that is malnourished or lacking a particular nutrient, you would know the kind of foods to prepare for that child.
Okay, so the goal in the nutritional goal in planning a meal is that every member of the family's nutritional need is met. Like you have a toddler who needs more of calcium, you meet that goal. You have an adolescent who needs more of protein, you meet that goal. Your husband, yourself, your brother, your mother who lives with you, young adults, aged people will all have their nutritional needs because you have carefully planned the meal and you have included all that they need. I hope you understand me.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Doesn't, like I said, it doesn't only satisfy those people's edges. It also um add up to their nutritional needs. All right, now let's look at the second one, budget. How is budget a goal in planning a meal?
Madam,
Mm-hmm.
your budget will determine the kind of food to prepare.
Yeah,
Let's say today you want to eat food that contains more protein. But
yeah,
here is the case, you don't have enough money to buy meat or fish.
yeah.
You can go in for beans,
Sure.
which your money can afford. Let's say you have 10 cedis, you can buy a cup of beans that contain a lot of protein and then it can serve the whole family. So
Okay,
that is the goal of budget.
that's the budget as a goal in meal planning. Okay, any other? Any other? Benny, Benny. Any other?
Okay. Madam, please, when you
Mhm.
talk of the budget too, the money available will help you know the resources you have to purchase for meal planning. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I.
Okay, so just like you have all said, that is for budget. Now let's look at resources. Resources as a goal in meal planning. We said the first goal is nutrition. It is important that you look at the nutrition of your family members. Second is budget. It is important you look at the money available to you. The list you have made, the money available to you would influence the type of food you would afford for your family. Now let's look at the third one, resource. How does resource becomes a goal in meal planning?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Madam, let's assume in this our era that most people are running for already made food. Let's say the Ulelu palm soup and then the canned fufu that we already have. And then you have been to a certain place that don't have this kind of already made food. You also want to eat fufu with panos. So do you have that skills to go to the old age skills to prepare it? And then their money at hand, your money you have with you, that is the money resources. Can the money you have purchase the kind of food you want to eat? And then the other one is the knowledge. Do you have any knowledge about, do you have any idea about how, let me say I'm in Somania here, I have not been in the northern sector before, so I don't know how to prepare rosafi and that kind of other food that they used to eat in the northern region. So do I have the knowledge, the skills, and then the money to afford the kind of ingredients and then resources that is being used to prepare that kind of food? So that is what I understand about the resources.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, like our sister has said, resources, which includes your time, your money available, your energy available to you, and even the skills, your creativity. All those are the resources that are available to you. So, as a meal manager, you should have knowledge about food preparation that will make the nutrients, like I said, the nutrients you are looking for be sustained in the forms of cook the methods of cooking you use, the skills you use in cooking those foods should also make sure that you have the nutrients you are looking for in the food is retained. Some nutrients are easily depleted, like vitamins. Vitamins are easily depleted. They can't stand heat. So you should always make sure that the forms of method the cooking methods you use viable enough. You should be aware of the energy you exert in the kinds of food you want to prepare. The last time I was talking to you about work simplification. You should employ work simplification equipment that can also help you to simplify your works in the kitchen, like the blender. It's one kitchen tool that can simplify your work in the kitchen. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, so if there's no other question, let's look at the aesthetic. How does aesthetics becomes a goal in meal planning? I say,
Okay. So for the aesthetics, sometimes when you see food and the food has to look pleasing. Otherwise, some people cannot eat it. And normally with kids, when you serve them foods that has like colors in it, they will be interested to eat. And even with adults, if the food doesn't look appetizing enough, they will not be able to eat it. And the texture, let's take a yam for example. When you slice yam and when you overboil it, it looks some way. It doesn't look nice. It becomes too soft and it doesn't look nice. Some people are not able to eat that. So you
Yeah.
should consider how the food looks in
looks.
the yes.
Okay, all right. So generally, meals should be pleasing and should be attractive and satisfy the customer. when we say pleasing, please, as a meal planner, you can have different colors of vegetables in the food, like this bell peppers. We have different colors. We have carrots. Fruits are colorful. Vegetables are colorful. So you can garnish your fruits in a way that people will see them and find them attractive to eat. And like you said, kids, kids, kids eat food based on the presentation, the color, the texture, the flavor, and even the temperature. And it applies to adults as well. Make sure cold food are served cold, and warm food are served warm. Make sure the textures of the food you cook are right. Nobody wants to eat lumpy banku. Nobody wants to eat lumpy fufu. Nobody wants to eat any lumpy swallow. So make sure the foods you serve are the textures are right. The colors are intact. If you want to garnish it with any other thing, and please don't be uh, exaggerating uh, your garnishing. Let's say you have prepared swallow like banku and okra stew, and you want to garnish it, and then you garnish it with pear or carrot or green pepper. It's exaggerated. What can you garnish it with? Maybe some pakushito or something will make it nice. But any other any other elaborated form of garnishing will make the food look absurd. Okay. So in summary, we have discussed what menu planning is, and we discussed what menu is, right? We said it's a list of food that's available for eating at a sitting. And then we've talked about the goal as a meal planner, or what's the goal that meal menu planning seeks. We've talked about the importance of menu or meal planning, and then we've talked about what meal planning is that will help them, the home manager or the homemaker, save money, energy, and time. Okay. Any question, please? Any question?
Madam,
Yes, please.
madam, please, with the aesthetic, can you
Aesthetic.
can you consider the type of people or the person whom you are serving before you garnish the meal? Because example is, let's say the older people, there are some things that they don't have to eat. Let's say with the color and those things. So when
So
you are
please hold on. If there are certain things they shouldn't eat, aesthetic it goes beyond just garnishing the food with vegetables or other vegetable colors. So even the bowls you serve the food in, you can prepare very sumptuous meals, but the bowls and the presentation of the food is a no-no.
okay,
You will get somebody serving food in some old bowl. I mean, bowls that are not attractive. It is a no-no. So don't just look at garnishing the foods. I also talked about the flavor of the food. It should be inviting. The texture of the food, like I said, nobody wants any lumpy swallow. Even the way you will scoop the swallow from the bowl onto the plate should be beautiful. It should have some eye-pleasing elements in there. You don't, if certain foods are not meant to be garnished, like let's say you are serving an older person and the person is not supposed to eat certain things normally you would use to garnish, please, the texture of the food should be intact, the temperature of the food should be intact, and even the presentation, the bowls in which you serve the food, the arrangement of the food even on the dining table can be aesthetically pleasing for the consumer.
Yeah,
That
madam.
makes
Thank you.
good. Good. Any other question? Okay. So if there's no other question, let's look at factors to consider in meal planning. We have talked about the goals. We said the goal in meal planning is what? Budget, nutrition, statistic or statistic. And then we have resources, nutrition, budget, statistics, and resources. Now let's look at the factors to consider in meal planning. What are some of the factors you look out for when planning a meal? The first one is the age of the groups you are preparing foods for. There are, like I said, there are different age groups in the family. You may have a toddler, you may have an infant, you may have a child, you may have a young adult, you may have an adolescent, you may have a young adult, you may have an adult like you, yourself, your husband, your elder sister, your younger sister. You can have an aged person like your grandmother, or even an elderly person like your parents living with you. In planning the meal, you should factor their ages and how the rate of their metabolism, and also their digestion rate, the types of foods that they can eat that will be easily digested, the methods of food to employ in your food preparation that can make the food digest easily, the ingredients to even use that will also help their digestion to be easily, that will not cause any form of, like heartburns or any simple illnesses that can come their way. So please, in preparing meals, you should factor the ages of the groups that are available in your homes. Any question? Any question?
No, madam.
Okay. So let's talk about the nutritional adequacy. How do you factor nutritional adequacy in meal planning? Sika,
Madam, I'm here.
how do you factor nutritional adequacy in meal planning?
Madam,
Mhm.
please, to my understanding, I think nutritional adequacy, you have
Mhm.
to make sure that all the essential nutrients are considered during meal planning.
Okay. Okay. Essential nutrients that are needed by these groups in the family. Let's say you're a pregnant woman, or you live with a pregnant woman, or you live with an anemic person, or you live with a hypertensive or a diabetic person. You should consider their nutritional needs as a meal planner or a homemaker. It is a factor that you need to consider in choosing the types of meals you will choose. If there is no anemic person in your home, or a hypertensive person, hypertensive is, you need to limit the sodium in your diet if you're hypertensive. Sodium is basically salt. You need to limit it in your diet when you are hypertensive. So it's foods that are high in sodium, such as maybe some condiments, such as maybe vinaigrettes or mayonnaise or ketchup, or even foods like Kobe, which is salt intense, or any other foods that are very salt intense. You may not want to inculcate it in the diet if you have a hypertensive patient, or you look at the salt intake in your food if you have a hypertensive patient or a hypertensive person in your family. You can scoop the person's food aside, then the rest who are not hypertensive can enjoy the amount of salt they want to enjoy. Okay, the third one is sex. The sex, whether a man or a woman or a female and or a male. Mind you, certain nutrients required by females may be larger than males, whilst and vice versa, especially when they are adolescents, and even also the young adults, yourself and your husband. Your husband may need more energy than you because obviously he does more work than you. So in meal preparation in the homes, make sure that his energy required is met in your meals. Let's say you if energy giving foods like the carbohydrate food, he would have to take more with proteins as well, but he would take more. Let's say if he's not hypertensive or diabetic, and you want to serve your husband fufu or rice, obviously his will be more than yours because he does more of energy. Therefore, his energy is used up more than you, who is the woman or who is the wife. So you have to serve him more carbohydrates food than yourself. Please, I hope I'm making a point here.
Yes, madam.
Yes. And then also, if they are
Yes,
adolescents too,
please.
if they are adolescents, generally adolescent males eat more than adolescent females. So in planning a meal, make sure you have factored the amount of meals adolescent male will eat, and the same for the adolescent female. And in adolescent male, they need a lot of protein because they are building muscles. At this point, they are building muscles, they are building other stuff, other parts of their body. So they need a lot of protein. However, the adolescent female also need zinc, zinc and iron, because this adolescent female is on her puberty journey. She would lose blood every month. At that time, she would need foods that are rich in zinc. She would need foods that are rich in iron so that she can replenish the blood she would lose. You also need to look at protein because they also grow, develop muscles, develop certain parts of their bodies that needs they would need protein to develop. Please, I hope you understand me. Okay, so now let's look at physical activities. Like I said, in planning a meal, you should look at the ages of the members of the family, the sex, the energy, the nutritional adequacy, and the physical activities. Each member of the family have their own peculiar physical activities they carry. Maybe you are a housewife. Maybe your work is not as intense as your husband. Maybe your husband's work is not as intense as yours. Maybe your child is your ward is a child, or like, yes, a child is between maybe 5 to 10 years old or 11 years old. These these children within these groups are very hyperactive. They are very active. I mean, they want to go everywhere. They are everywhere. They are loud, and they need energy a lot. So, and they easily exert their energy too. But fortunately for them, their energy is easily replenished. So, in cooking meals, make sure that you have make sure that you have an idea of the physical activities each member of the group takes, so that you can give them their required nutrients that is due them to carry on their day-to-day activities. All right. So the economic consideration talks about the money available to the family. Like I think Gladys said that the money available will determine the kinds of food you would choose. Availability of foods. Availability of food talks about the foods in season. Sometimes when certain foods are in season, or when certain foods are easily reachable in the area where you find yourself, you tend to eat those foods more because they are easily available. They are primary, they are easily to reach. So those things affect meal planning as well. Let's say you live in an area where it's a farming community where they do a lot of fish farming there, and fish is easily sorted. Most of your diet will be influenced with fish. Chicken will be once a while because it is not as available as fish. So you realize that most of your diet, the protein will be fish. Now let's talk about the time available to you as a busy or as a working homemaker or meal manager. Your time will determine the types of food you will cook. Some foods take a lot of time, like preparing soups and elaborative cooking. May require a lot of time. Some too require very less time, like maybe some oil rice with grounded pepper and all that. Make sure that every food or any food you prepare, you have the amount of time needed to prepare that food, to be able to, the main goal is nutritional needs, to be able to meet the nutritional needs of these members you are cooking for. You can also consider the likes and dislikes of an individual. Please, in preparing foods for your family, know what they like. In preparing food for a group of people, know what they like and what they do not like in terms of their cultural preferences, in terms of their behavioral or their personal preferences. You should know the types of foods that their family or they themselves enjoy. You should know the types of food your family, the eating habits of your family, the things they love to be served with, the things they don't like to be served with, the times they want to eat, the times they do not want to eat, the number of times they want to eat, the number of times they do not want. You should know all that as their likes and dislikes when planning a meal for the family. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Anastasia.
Madam, please, I want to ask with the economic consideration,
Mhm.
it's like when you feel like eating something that you don't have that money to consume that thing or to buy that thing, how will you do about it?
How do you think you go about it? If you want to eat something and you don't have money, Deborah, Deborah, can I? Okay, Benny.
Yes, madam.
Mhm.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
I think we have already discussed this particular question that came about. One thing is even before you prepare a meal, you consider your budget. Meaning
Yes,
you have to work within your budget to
yes.
make sure that you are able to accomplish the meal that you want. If probably somebody made mention of if egg and meat could be costly, you can substitute
Uh-huh.
for probably beans or something
Mhm.
like that. So I
Yeah,
think if you are economically unstable, then you think of there's always an option. So in the long run, you'll be able to consume something that, if not necessarily what you want, something that can also perform similar function within your body or provide a similar nutrient that your body will require. You understand?
exactly. What does What does cheese give? Cheese. Cheese. What does it give to the body?
Cheese.
Tea.
Right.
Cheese.
Um,
Cheese. S cheese. Sorry. CHEESE. Cheese.
Madam, protein.
Protein is dairy, right?
yeah.
Cheese
That's
is
true.
dairy. Let's say you want to have a sandwich and you wish you had a cheese, but you can't afford cheese, which is 60 cedis or something. What is the alternative you can use? You want to have a sandwich.
Dairy. Milk can be
Oh, the best alternative would be eggs. You
eggs.
can fry your egg, put it in your bread. You can boil it, slide it in your egg, your bread, and then add few vegetables to it. You have had your sandwich. Do you agree with me?
I don't know, clappy.
Do you agree with me?
Yes,
Uh-huh. So my point is that you need to always have a substitution. If you don't have, not all the time we have money. Money is a limited resources. So if you feel like eating something and you don't have the means for it, you substitute foods that can give you equal nutrients of that you want, which you can't afford. Then you are good to go. Okay, essential.
Yes, madam. Please, I
Mm-hmm.
want to ask this question. When staying with a pregnant woman, when what they like is what they want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Even let's say you've planned a meal that, oh, today you eat this so that tomorrow, so that at the end of the week we meet all the nutritional needs. But you can see that you can give them maybe banku and okra stew today. They'll feel like eating something else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe rice
You
and
see,
stew. Tomorrow
mhm,
to rice and what do you do to this kind of people?
in terms of nutrition or money,
No,
money,
in terms of nutrition. Since maybe some of them like eating one way food.
uh-huh. So pregnancy is a peculiar issue, and pregnancy is you have to be tactful when dealing with a pregnant woman. They can be a bit jittery. They said they can tell you, "Oh, I'll eat banku and okosti." By the time you finish preparing the banku and okosti, they want to eat something different. Sometimes they may want to eat something for a number of times before they feel they don't want to eat that again because they've had enough. So food should be available at home. Foods that every pregnant woman's need is the same. If you become pregnant, your needs for the futures to form well will be the same as mine, because either ways we have futures in us which we need to carry it safe for 9 months and then deliver. So you need iron, you need zinc, you need vitamin B. So please make sure the foods they want, if it is rice they want with stew, make sure you have added foods that are rich in these nutrients I'm mentioning. Even if it's banku and okra stew they want, make sure the foods they want is rich in that I have mentioned. That is for nutrition. In terms of finances, make sure you have food in bulk in the house with the facilities you have for storage, so that foods will be saved well or will be stored well in the house or in the home. Make sure you have freezers that can accommodate foods. You can freeze these foods for a number of time or a period of time, sorry. And then when it comes to time available in cooking, you can make a soup base, you can make a stew base. So just when they call you, or if you're the one taking care of them totally, just when they call you, oh, Essential, I want to eat this. You have a soup base or a stew base, and then you have prepped certain things in the freezer. Immediately you take it, you are on your way preparing something sumptuous for them, which is nutritious as well. Please, I hope you understand me.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So if there's no other question, can we move on? Gladys.
Madam,
Hmm.
please, my question is on the point 9, the likes and then dislikes of individuals.
Hmm.
For that one, let's say maybe we have 10 people in a family and everybody is having his or her own preference. How do I or how do the meal manager factor all their nutritional value into the meal that he or she is going to prepare?
It's not nutritional value. It is the type of food you are preparing as a meal planner. Some may like chicken, some may like egg, some may like green leafy vegetables, some may not like leafy vegetables. Sometimes too, some may have food taboos. Certain ones, certain times you can compromise. You can talk them out of it. Oh, you eat this. The next time I'll prepare something different for you. It is understandable. But some people have food taboos. They don't eat it at all. So if you prepare people who don't eat snails, people who do not eat pork, you should not put those protein or yeah that protein in their. You should not include it in their diet. You may eat pork. Your child may not eat. You would realize it by feeding the child with it. The next time the child has some allergies, you may eat banana. Me, for instance, my nephew doesn't eat banana, and it is weird because our home we always eat bananas, but for him alone, anytime he eats banana, he has his eyes becomes red. His iris becomes so red until he's been taken to the hospital. He won't be well. So my niece, for instance, we don't feed him with banana. But the banana could be home because banana is rich in potassium, and we need potassium in our system too. So some of us who are not who don't have that allergy, we can enjoy the banana, but he doesn't. So in substitution for banana, we buy him something different. It could be apples, it could be pineapples, it could be watermelon. And like you were asking, if let's say 10 people are in the house in the house, and you want to prepare maybe rice and stew, and they're like, mommy, we don't want to eat rice and stew today. Maybe we want to eat, since they are not, it won't give them any allergy, and you're looking at your budget, you're looking at your time, you can talk them into coax them into eating. The next time you do something different for them, if only it will not cause any health issues for them, which is also nutritionally okay for them, that's fine. But if it is food taboo or it causes allergies for them, don't even include them in their diet at all. Do you understand me?
Yes, madam.
Mhm. Okay, so now let's look at decision making. Decision making. Unit 3, Unit 2, Section 3, decision making. In the family, decision making is very important, is it not?
Yes.
It will shock you the decisions we make daily for even ourselves. If you being here on this online platform to learn, it's your decision. Every human being decide on whatever they want to do every minute of the day. So making decision can be a habit and a process as well. Whether you eat rice, whether you eat kenke, whether you eat whatever, is your decision. Effective and successful decision make life more easy and helps avoid losses and stress. Therefore, in home management, decision making is important because it helps the male manager channel her resources into what will be great or what will be of great benefit to her consumers in terms of meals. So, as a home planner or as a meal manager or a homemaker, you have to go through decision making a lot. You will decide for the aged, the adolescent. You have to be tactful, you have to be rational, you have to be smart. Not all decision will be liked by your family members, but if only you consider all the factors that can affect, and also if you consider the goals of meal planning, and you think it's viable as a learned person, there can be certain consequences, but you would have to coax them or talk them out of it. So this brings us to decision. What is a decision? What is a decision? What is a decision? Please know the difference between decision and decision making. Decision could be an action or a course of action that is chosen from set of alternatives to achieve your objective. Decision is just you choosing from your available alternative. Let's say if you have if you have if you have rice and stew, if you have kinky and fish, and then somebody asks you, what will you eat? There's rice and stew, there's kinky and fish, and then you tell the person, oh, I'll eat kinky and fish. It's a decision you've made. You have chosen from your available alternatives. Somebody asks you, will you go to the market at 5 o'clock or you go at 1 o'clock? Oh, I'll go at 1 o'clock because I want to come back and eat and rest. It's your decision. You haven't gone through any process. You have just making a choice out of the available alternatives you have. However, decision making is a bit more detailed than decision. How is decision making more detailed than uh, uh, decision making? The Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary explains decision making as deciding about something important, especially in a group of people or an organization. That is how the Oxford Advanced Oxford Dictionary would define decision making. But as a homemaker, we know that decision making are made are made whilst you include the needs and wants of the family. You have to make do of their likes, their dislikes, their needs, their wants, their standards before coming out to a certain um uh, stand. This is what I want to do, or this is what I would like to do as a homemaker or a family manager. Please hold on. Yeah, so that's for decision making. It is a process. It's a process of making, it's a process of deciding something very important, especially in a group of people or an organization. So when we limit ourselves to a homemaker, it is an important um, it is an important step a homemaker makes in the family. Please, any question? Any question? Okay, now let's look at types of decision taken by the male manager. Certain types of decisions are taken by the male manager. Let's look at them. We have two types of decisions that are taken by the male manager. We have the rational decision and the irrational decision. What is, if we say something is rational, that means it is important or it is well thought of or it is in line to whatever thing you want. That is the English definition for rational decision. So as a homemaker or as a male manager, the types of decision you take, one is rational decision and two irrational decision. Rational decision are thought through decisions and generally made by people who are able to determine the possibilities of an outcome. Rational decisions are thought through. You think through those decisions and they are generally made by people who are able to determine the possible outcome. So in meal management, rational decisions are made to achieve meal management goals, which is what the first and foremost meal management goal is the nutritional needs of the diner. So you think through, you consider your budget, you consider your time, you consider substituting one thing for the other in terms of money unavailability. You think about the likes and dislikes of the family, the consumer or your family member. It's a well planned thought you go through to make a decision, which possibly one of you were even asking me a question about them. If you want to eat, I was even asking you about cheese and eggs. In rational decision making by a homemaker, let's say you know your child need protein, but you don't have money. Your child tells you, "Mommy, I'll eat cheese." But you know this child likes eggs too, because children love eggs. And then she tells, "Mommy, I'll eat it." Maybe you have the money, but you didn't go to you didn't close from work early to get the cheese, and you live far from town. You can make a rational decision by using eggs in a way that will take. You can use eggs in a way, you can scramble it, you can poach it, you can fry it, and then it can even boil and slide, and then use it for the diet, or sorry, the meal you want to use the cheese for, if it can be used, like let's say sandwich, like I said, and your child will enjoy it. You know that your child would likes egg, so using egg as a substitute, you know the possible outcome of it. This same act you have done has met the nutritional need you need for the child as protein, getting protein in her system. You have met it. Please, any question? Okay, if there's no, let's look at irrational decisions. Irrational decisions too can be choosing Carefully choosing foods and you knowing exactly what protein or sorry, what nutrients the food will give your body. If you know you need or if you are cooking for people who are anemic and needs high blood count in their system, you know for sure that using turkey berry in your diet will will warrant you that. You also know that using green leafy vegetables in your diet will also warrant you what? High blood count in your diet. So you know the possible outcome of the foods you are prepared or you are preparing or you have prepared for them. However, irrational decisions are decisions that are made based on emotions of the meal manager. The emotions of the meal manager. For example, a mother feeling happy on a child's birthday can serve junk food. You tell yourself, oh, and it is just today. Let me just serve the child um, maybe fizzy drinks with maybe cake or pizza or this or that. You haven't really thought of. Definitely, you know these foods are not entirely healthy. They are high in sodium. They are high in MSGs. They are high in fatty oils that are saturated. You see, so you definitely know that these foods are not entirely healthy for your diet, but because of emotions, maybe your child has passed her exams, or your child has gotten a visa to go to abroad, or your child has gotten admission into the university, or you yourself you have had a bonus at work, something you just want to be happy that day. So you just choose foods based on your emotions. You don't look at the nutritional complication. You're just happy. You feel you want to um, enjoy or you want to enjoy your promotion or whatever. Please, any questions? Okay. So if there's no question, let's look at importance of decision making. Importance of decision making. The three importance of decision making is that it helps you to organize resources to manage your activities. If you think through the activities you do, if you think through, you make intense thoughts or you think intensively about how to go about your day-to-day activity as a homemaker, you are able to organize your resources and you are able to manage your resources to meet your goals. It also provides you direction for achieving your goal. You know, if you make decision, you give yourself step to step action as to how to achieve your goal. So there's a direction. You don't do things anyhow. You do things based on the decision you have intensively done, and you go through these decisions step by step to achieve your goal. And then finally, it helps you find solution to anticipated challenges that may arise. It helps you find a solution to anticipated challenges that may arise. Please explain to me this point with all that we have said. Anastasia, Anastasia. Okay, if Anastasia is not there, Benny,
Yes, madam.
uh-huh. Benny, kindly throw more points on importance of decision making. uh, helping us helping us find solution helping us find solution to anticipated challenges that may arise. How does decision making help us to find solution to any anticipated issues?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Uh, I will pick it from this side. Uh, Once there's a work going on precisely at the kitchen by the manager, there are a lot of potential issues regarding accident probably that may come up. So, as a male manager, for you to be able to avoid all such things from happening, you must make tough decisions and make sure that you are putting in place what you have decided. For instance, at the kitchen, your work center, how you arrange your work center, you have to decide on that and be intentional on putting those decisions that you have made in place. Because, for instance, if you are working at the kitchen as a meal manager, you know, there are some items that are easy to reach. Even when you put it on the shelf, they are easy to reach. Even if you're unable to grab it from the higher level, even if it comes down, it won't cause or create any other issue from happening.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, when you are uh, preparing meals, there are some equipment that are easy to be reached. You don't have to be moving here and there. Make sure that the items that you need in your meal preparation, since you have planned on that, you know the kind of meal that you are preparing, which comes with the very immediate equipment that you will need. So by making good decisions, it'll help you to put all these things in place so that it can even facilitate your meal planning and it wouldn't cause any delay and distraction trying to move here, move there, and move that. So these are some of the, and also the layout of your kitchen also help facilitate movement if the need arise. So these are certain things that as a meal manager you need to decide on them so that it can facilitate your work and also help you avoid any serious issues from happening. Thank you.
Okay. Any other addition? Any other additions? So, like Benny has said, one importance of decision making is that it helps you find solution to anticipated problems. Since you have planned your meals, you have everything out, you have decided, rightfully thought through whatever thing you want to do, you can easily mitigate any challenge that occurs. Plan things as you plan whatever meal, whatever decision you have gone through, you would know possible challenges that can come. So as you decide, or as you plan, or as you go through step by step, whatever you do, you would find certain solutions, or you try to find certain solution in case these challenges arises. So those are the examples um Benny explained to you. Okay, so now let's look at decision making process. Decision making process. Decision making process. We have talked about decision. We have talked about decision making. Now let's talk about decision making process. What is decision making process? Gladys. No, Vicentia. Okay, Vicentia is not available. Felicity. 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 What is decision making process? Okay, so decisions don't just happen. Okay, to make decisions, it doesn't just happen. You have to go through certain laid down steps, and these laid down steps are known as decision making processes. Before you make decisions, you need to go through certain steps, certain processes before you make these decisions. You consider your alternatives, you consider advantages and disadvantages, you consider resources available, your time, your energy, your money. You consider all those before making a decision. You first of all, you identify a problem. That is why you go through this decision to make a decision. There definitely would be a problem before you decide on something. There will be hunger. That is when you decide on what to eat. There will be inavailability of something. That is where you decide whether to use A or B as an alternative. So decision making processes would be the lay down steps that you go through to make a decision. Do you agree with me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
So the first step in decision making is identify the problem. Identify the problem. Definitely, like I said, there will definitely be a problem which will warrant you to make a decision or find an answer to the problem. There will definitely be a problem which you would need to find an answer for. Therefore, would make you go through a decision making process. If you do not identify the problem to solve, or if the problem is too broad, you may knock the decision making train off or track before it leaves the station. That is what the slide is telling us here. This basically means that if there's no problem to solve, if there's no problem, you won't even have the stress of going through a decision making. But definitely, if there's a problem, you would decide on something. Like I said, if there's hunger, if there's limited resources, but something also has to be done. If there is inavailability of something or a particular resource or a particular ingredient in the home, but you need to make you need to provide that in either ways, you would have to make a decision. So first of all, identify the problem that you need to solve in decision making. If you identify the problem, then you look at your alternate, you identify the alternative alternatives available to you. In identifying the alternatives available to you, what do? You gather relevant information. You gather relevant information. When I say relevant information, these are information that can possibly solve the problems you have. When you gather relevant information, you are gathering information that can probably or possibly solve these problem you have. Let's say you have a problem of hunger, you are hungry, or you have a problem of cooking for the family. The alternatives are the foods that are available to you. It's either A or it's either B or even C, or how many alternatives you may have. Either of these alternatives can solve can help you continue with your decision making process. But as you move on further, you would know the possible ones or the best ones to take in amongst your alternatives. Please, do you understand me?
Yes, madam.
Or you don't understand? Should I go over?
Madam, please, it's clear.
Okay. So the first is this in decision making process. The first is uh, uh in decision making process. The first is identify the problem. The first step in decision making process is to identify your problem. Second is to identify the alternatives that are available to you. When we say identify the alternatives, these are gathering relevant information. Relevant information are information that have that can possibly solve this problem, the problem you have. The gathering information or the identifying what alternatives you have can possibly solve the problem. There are usually more than one option to consider when you are trying to meet or to solve a problem. However, one course of action may be relevantly better when trying to solve a goal. Like I said, you may have quite a number of alternatives, but one will be the best amongst this information you have gathered or these alternatives you have. One course of action may be relatively better, or it may be the best amongst them all. So to know which course of action is relatively better or best, you need to weigh the evidence for each of these alternatives available to you by identifying their potential risks, by identifying which one will give you the best outcome or the desired outcome of what you are looking for. Do you understand me? Hello?
Hi, madam.
Do you understand, please? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at points to consider or points for stage 2 of decision making, which is the identifying alternatives. There are certain points you need to consider when you have your alternatives laid before you, or you have your relevant informations before you. You have to, one, be clarified on the problem. Be clarified on the problem. Identify the alternatives, gather information on all of the alternatives, and weigh the potential risks and reward of each alternative. Under the second one, which is identifying your alternative, you should also go back to the problem. Okay, this is the problem. I'm hungry. Identify the alternative. Okay, there's rice and contemporary stew. There's rice and beans. There's rice and and groundnut soup. Identify, gather information of all the alternatives. Rice and contemporary. The contemporary has it was made with turkey berry. It's rich in vitamin A. It's rich in um iron. It's rich in maybe protein. You added fish to it, rich in protein. Obviously, it's rich in zinc, and um it's rich in vitamin B. Consume is rich in vitamin B. And then that's the information you have gathered on the first alternative. The second one, chicken, and even the red oil you used with in the making the consume is was was made by somebody you trust, that the person makes original unadulterated palm nut oil. And then you have another one, which is rice and egg chicken stew. This chicken was fried, everything fried with oils. You do not have a concrete information on their source. However, you have used it to cook. And then you have fried, you have made stew, which is made with oil. These oil, sometimes they are very difficult to break. The chains in the oil are very difficult. As a science person, you know oils are made with fatty acid chains. Sometimes they are difficult to break because they become unsaturated. I mean, yes, which is quite easy to not easy to digest in the body. But depending on the time you eat it, it could be okay. Maybe you eat it in the morning, in the afternoon. All this information you should gather. Maybe the rice and the tomato stew wasn't. You didn't really add any um vegetables that is rich in vitamins in it. It's just normal tin tomatoes you used, which we know tin tomatoes is not as healthy as the fresh tomatoes for cooking. But maybe you did it for somebody and there's some left, or you had to do some quick food for somebody and there's some left. You have that at your disposal. And then the third one is um uh, rice and maybe groundnut soup with chicken. You don't feel for it. You have reasons why you don't want that. You have gathered all the information about the food, the nutritional profile of the food, aside that maybe your hunger, your emotions doesn't feel for that. So in identifying all the information on the alternatives, you are still weighing their risks and rewards of these alternatives. By the time you realize you have chosen an alternative, which is the third point. Please, I hope you understand me.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so choosing an alternative is when you are sure about the course of action and you know the limited or the possible risks, or you know the possible benefits, and then you select a course of action from these alternatives, which will present you minimal risks. You know it benefits, you know its risks. You have weighed it and you know this is better or this best amongst the alternative. After you have chosen this alternative, you evaluate or review your decision. That is the fourth one. You review your decision. How do you review your decision? Emily, how do you review your decision? Emily, today, Essential, Benny, you've all spoken. Felicity,
You review your
Hello.
hello.
okay. Emily, I'm listening. Felicity, please hold on.
Hello, madam, I'm here.
Please hold on. Emily,
Okay, please.
Yes, madam.
I'm listening.
Yes. You review your alternative. You weigh out whatever you have
Mm,
and see the one that is nutrition.
mm. Okay, that is choosing an alternative. But we are talking about reviewing your decision.
Um,
Okay, if you can't help us with that, Felicity, Felicity, help us with that.
Madam,
Can
please,
you
when we
hold on?
talk about review your decision, the first one says that you should choose an alternative. So after you've chosen the alternative, you have to just look in it and get a solution, whether a better solution for it. That is how I understand it.
Okay, Kenny.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm
Yes, madam.
listening. Yeah.
Here reviewing the alternative, if I'm right.
Yes.
Okay. Now you already have laid down alternative, and at this point you have chosen the best one. You think that's going to help you solve the problem.
Yeah.
So after you have chosen your best alternative, it doesn't mean that you should go straight ahead and then begin to work with it. So far as you have chosen that alternative, try to look out for the pros and cons of that alternative. Is the chosen alternative going to bring out the best solution? Or after applying that chosen alternative, will there be another thing to do? So you have to analyze critically the chosen alternative so that the best thing, or you'll be able to solve, the problem, or something positive can come out of that, or you can apply it very effectively to solve whatever that you are looking for.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any other question? Any other contributions?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
This thing remind me of something. I was going for a wedding and then I decided to sew a dress.
Okay.
Already the due date was close, so
Mhm.
I couldn't plan on the type of dress to sew for the wedding. So when I woke up, sisters, let me say, gathered sisters, straight dress was the thought that came in mind. I couldn't think of it, plan it, and then I just woke up and then started cutting the dress. Before I realized, I used a wrong pattern to do the dress. So I have to leave it and then go over it, think of it, and then do some pattern work on paper and test or review the decision that I have taken before I retransfer it to the main fabric. So if you come out with a decision and then you don't review or you don't test it, you may end up spoiling the whole thing that you've planned for. So that is my small
Okay.
suggestion I have.
Okay. Okay. So, evaluating your evaluating all that you have said is right. So, um, evaluating or review your decision. There's actually sometimes you don't know the decision the alternative you settle on. You may not know if it will work or not. So if you choose a particular alternative amongst all the alternatives you have to go back and review. Did it work? Did it work in the way that I wanted it to work? Did it satisfy me in the way that I wanted it to satisfy me? If it is 100% for you, fair enough. If it is 80% for you, next time you do better. If it is 50% for you, next time you do better. If it is below 50% for you, you won't do that again. You won't choose that alternative again. So decision making doesn't always warrant 100% success because you can only anticipate. You don't know what is before you. So if it works for you, you have to always review your decision. You have to evaluate it. Did it work for me the way I wanted it to work? Oh, next time, okay, here was a bit I should have added this here, I should have done this there, I should have done this other way. Next time I will do this way. Please hope you understand me.
Yes, madam.
Yes,
So
madam.
basically, so
Yes,
basically,
madam.
so basically to review your decision means that you give an honest feedback of the alternative you chose to see how well it worked for you, your decision or your alternative worked for your decision. That is all. Okay, any other question? If there is no question, please let's end here. Unit 2, Section 5. Thank you all for your time. We shall meet again online. We will discuss with Helena, or you can with her to know how many people will be available for us to have the class with. Thank you all and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
Thank
so much.
madam.
you, madam.
Thank
We
you too.
really appreciate it. God bless you.
Bye.
Hello.
Bye.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
madam.
please. The online class will be coming on as usual. Wednesday, God willing.
Okay,
Seven.
please
What
time.
time?
Wednesday at
What
7.
time? What time?
7. 7.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I'm the male, or the only male here.